Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Rhianna and today I'm going to talk about my goals for 2026. So I feel like a lot of people say when a new year comes around that they are surprised that a new year is here already. Like, it's 2026, can you believe it? But I really can. I feel like 2025 was a really long year and I'm excited to look to the future to better and brighter things. And for the past 2 years, I've made a video talking about my goals for the upcoming year, and I feel like my goals were always kind of loose. But this year, I've decided to choose 10 fairly concrete goals to hopefully make it more likely that I will achieve them. I will also add a preface and say that I don't feel like I'm particularly goal-oriented in life. I try to just have fun where I can because no one really knows why we're here, no one really knows what we're doing, and I think that is really the only goal, is to just try and enjoy yourself. But also, I feel like without goals and purpose and things to achieve, we can feel a little bit aimless and purposeless, and I don't really want to fall into that slope. So, we've got some goals to keep us busy in 2026. So, my first goal for 2026 is to publish my book. So, in 2025, I wrote a book, which I am proud of myself for doing because, you have to spend a lot of time on a book to get it finished. And I'm happy with the final product. I think it's hard to say that as a writer because I think it's easy to feel like there's always more that you could do. But I think I've really taken it as far as I can. And the book is a dark fantasy gothic with dark academia elements about immortality. And where am I at in the querying process so far? So I've queried about 16 literary agents and I've had 14 rejections, and I had 2 requests for the full manuscript, which I was very happy with because I've tried to get a literary agent before and really struggled with getting any kind of response. So it was really nice to get a response. One of those agents seemed very positive with the book. They replied within a couple of days of me sending out the query, and I was really hopeful, but in the end they decided to pass on signing me, and that's okay. Never mind. I was a bit sad about it for a while, but we got to keep going. We can't be set back by rejection. Rejection is a large part of being a writer. So in 2026, I think I'll try to send the book out to a few more agents and hope for the best. My second goal is also to do with writing. So I also, as well as novel writing, love writing plays. I love theatre. In 2025, now that I live in London, I went to see a lot of great shows, both musicals and plays, and I would love to have a play put on. Will it happen in 2026? Who knows? I did have some success with playwriting in 2025. So the Bruntwood Prize for Playwriting is the biggest playwriting competition in Europe. It's a playwriting competition that I followed for many years. One of my lecturers, when I studied creative writing at university, was shortlisted and won one of the big prizes for the Bruntwood, and I was like, wow, like a dream for that to happen. And my play was longlisted for the Bruntwood Prize, which was a real win for me because I think when you send out your work, it's easy to just send nothing back, and it can make you feel like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I writing? And to just get even like a little bit of success can be really nice. And as a result of getting longlisted for the prize, I got some really detailed feedback on the play, on what they really liked about the play and what they thought could be a little bit better, which really helped me rework the play into something that I think could be put on the stage. And so maybe in 2026 that'll happen. I mean, it is really hard in this day and age to get a play put on. I think for now I'm just sending it out to theatres, seeing if I can get any feedback or any kind of positive response from them. I suppose there's always the possibility of putting it on myself, but I think I need to do a bit more research into what that entails, because I think you have to put a lot of your own money into making that happen, and then there's a possibility of no one coming to see it. So yeah, it's a loose goal, but why not dream big? My third goal is to read 50 books. I realised that last year I set a goal of reading 50 books. I read 42, didn't quite reach it, never mind. I mentioned in my last video that I made about all the books that I read in 2025 that with reading I don't like to really have goals because I just read for fun, and I think when you put a goal on it. Sometimes it can make you just read like little short books to try and reach your goal, when actually I love a big book. Love Stormlight Archive, love a book over 1,000 pages. So I try not to have like that many goals in connection with my reading, but I've set a goal of 50 books because why not? Let's see if I hit it this year. My fourth goal is to properly learn Turkish. So I've been learning Turkish for about 3 years now because my partner is Turkish, and I've always loved the idea of speaking another language. At school I studied French, and I ended up speaking French like okay, but I think it's quite hard to speak a language like really well unless you are in the company of people that speak that language. When you're just doing it in a solitary way, it can be really hard because you're not getting that feedback. But my partner, he speaks Turkish, so he's there for me to practice with, and so I really need to take advantage of that and like properly learn the language. I think I'm not that bad at it, but after 3 years I feel like I should be a bit better, and I thought I'd say the next part as well in Turkish to like try and practice a bit. So 3 yıldır Türkçe öğreniyorum ve benim Türkçem biraz iyi. Ama bazen praktik yapmıyorum ve unutuyorum her şey. Bir dili öğrenmek için her gün praktik yapmalısınız. Bu nedenle 2026'da her gün praktik yapacağım. Belki, inşallah, yapmaya çalışacağım belki. Neden Türkçe öğreniyorum? Erkek arkadaşım Türk ve İstanbul, İzmir çok güzel. Türkiye çok güzel. Çok güzel. What is country? Don't know. That's what I need to practice. So number 5 is to fight my fear of flying. So I tend to be scared of a lot of things. Flying is up there. I know flying is very safe. Like, so many planes are in the sky all the time. Out my window, as I live in London, I see so many planes go overhead, going to Heathrow, Gatwick, Luton, Stansted, London City Airport. But I've always been scared of heights, and I think that's the thing. Every time I'm in a plane, like, I can't relax because I'm like, I'm in the sky. I'm like 35,000 feet in the sky. What am I doing up here? I need to be back on the ground. But I do love to travel, and I haven't taken a plane in about a year now. So I've travelled via train in Europe, but I haven't travelled by plane. So I want to travel more in 2026. So I need to get over my fear. I don't have like a way, like a plan of getting over the fear other than just grinning and bear it when I have to get a plane and like just trying not to let it consume me. I think that's the issue. Like, when I take a plane, like, I can't sleep the night before, and then when I'm at the airport I just feel awful. When I'm on the plane I feel awful, and then finally have relief when I land, but then I'm also aware that I, like, in a few days or in a week I'll need to get a plane again. I think to really fight the fear I need to just like read, allow myself to read, or just do something else while I'm on a plane rather than sit there and just panic. Number 6 ties in with this, so my goal for number 6 is to fight my fear of death, which I think ties in with my fear of flying. I think I hate the idea of suddenly like being alive and then like not anymore, like death suddenly coming upon you and like it happening suddenly. Like, that kind of makes my brain stop being able to work. And I think that when you're on a plane, usually if you were to die on a plane, it would happen really suddenly. And I think usually I'm scared of things where death would be sudden. It's kind of weird because I was speaking to a friend about it and she said it's the other way for her. Like, she hates the idea of dying slowly, which I think actually is more scary, because then you're like, it's kind of better to die suddenly so you're not aware of it. But I don't know. And I think there are days where I lean into the absurdism of life, and I think doing that allows me to relax a bit and not be scared of anything anymore, because like life is absurd and crazy and just enjoy yourself, you know. But there are other days where I just get consumed by the anxiety and I can't manage to get past it. So we need to maybe give ourselves some self-therapy to try and work through the fear that I feel on a daily basis. Goal number 7 is about YouTube. So I really love making YouTube videos, and I'd really like to upload consistently in 2026. I think I'll set myself a goal of making at least one video every 2 weeks and one short every week. I think that could be manageable for me. I suppose the obstacle that I come across is the fact that I work full time, and I find making videos quite time consuming, like sitting down, like planning what you're going to say, sitting down, filming it, and then editing it. I'm amazed when people manage to make so many videos, and find the time to do that. So I really love doing it, and I really like to try and make sure that I carve out time in my schedule to achieve that goal. Number 8 is to retain a work-life balance. So in the majority of 2025, I worked on site 5 days a week. And as a result, I gradually found myself having less and less time, because I would leave like before the sun came up and I'd come home after the sun came down, and I never had the energy really to do anything else other than work. So like work was 9 to 5, and all I ever wanted to do was just come home and read and relax at home. And so as a result, I wasn't doing like many other things other than working. I suppose I was reading, but I wasn't doing like any activities like book clubs or like sports clubs or anything, because I just wanted to come home. And in 2026, I'd like to not do that. I'd like to still have a life outside of work. And I think what will help me achieve this is the fact that I have a new job in 2026. So I did really like my old job. I worked at university, but my new job has a hybrid model, and my old job didn't have that hybrid model. So I'm hoping that this hybrid model will allow me just to have a bit more free time, because I'll save time on that commute into central London. Next goal, number 9, we're on number 9, yes, is connected to that goal. So I'd really like to join a writing club or a reading club, or maybe both. So I used to live in Berlin. I lived there for 2 years, and when I lived in Berlin, I mainly only worked remotely. I taught English online, and so as a result, I had time to go and do like different clubs and things. And I was part of a writing club. I was part of the Women Writing Lab Berlin club, which I so enjoyed. Every Monday we would meet at a cafe, a group of women, and we'd give each other prompts, and we'd write together and then share what we'd written, and I really enjoyed that, and I'd love to find something similar in London. And while I was in Berlin, I was also part of a reading club, which was really fun. We met once a month and we discussed the book of the month, and we met at a different person in the group's flat, which was really nice. I love going to like people's flats. The reading was fun, but being nosy in the flats was also pretty fun. And I'd love to find something similar to that in London. I'd also love to join maybe a sports club or something. I really do very little exercise. I found that when I was working on site 5 days a week, it didn't really matter, because I was walking a lot to get to work, and I was also walking a lot during my time at work, because I was like walking around the campus. But now that I'm working at home, sometimes I feel like I do need to maybe schedule some exercise in, and joining a club would be a good way of doing that. Then my 10th goal is to allow myself to have fun, because like I said at the beginning of the video, I think that's really the only goal there is with life. Just try and enjoy every moment that you have. Some things I like to do for fun. I like to read, I like to write. I also love to play video games. I've recently been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where you play Cassandra from Catalonia and you explore the ancient Greek world, and it's just a really great time. But sometimes I feel guilty when I'm playing it, because I'm like, I should be doing something more productive. But like having fun, that is a productive thing to do. So I need to stop feeling guilty about that. I also love to do puzzles and listen to an audiobook. I should make sure I have time to do that too, because that's really relaxing for me. And I think, yeah, just have fun. So those are my goals for 2026. What are your goals for 2026? Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye bye.